Today's news. Youth activists' appeal rejected. Commemoration of murdered journalist. Baku hosts Transparency and Ethics Conference. Southern Azerbaijanis distrust Iranian opposition. World War II veterans' home taken by government. Baku learns peacekeeping lessons from Northern Ireland and Cyprus.
Today, the Sumgait Appeals Court heard the appeal filed by jailed Azerbaijan Popular Front Party youth member Jabbar Savalanli. He had requested that his pre-trial detention be overturned and replaced with house arrest. Judge Azer Husseinov presided over the hearing. The hearing was closed to the press and public. According to Savalanli's lawyer, the team first appealed for a different judge, but the court refused this. The lawyers said that Savalanli's right to a fair judicial investigation, as enshrined in the European Convention of Human Rights, has been violated. Savalanli was arrested on February 5th in front of his apartment building. He is being charged with possession of narcotics, which entails a sentence of up to 3 years. Police officers claim that they found 0.74 grams of marijuana when they searched him. His supporters believe that Savalanli has been arrested because of his involvement with protests against a police clampdown during an opposition protest on January 20th at the Martyrs Lane Cemetery.
Takes a while. Security. We had plenty of candidates.
Yesterday, more than 200 people went to pay their respects at Elmar Husseinov's grave. Husseinov, former editor-in-chief of Monitor magazine, was shot dead in front of his apartment on March 2, 2005. Diplomatic representatives from, amongst others, the US and German embassies, human rights defenders, journalists, and leaders of the opposition were present at the memorial. Those in attendance condemned the government for its lack of commitment to the investigation. The government was involved in this murder, and so of course it doesn't want to see the crime solved. However, we will continue to fight for the investigation of Elmar's murder, said Ali Karimli, the leader of the Azerbaijan Popular Front Party. Leyla Yunus, director of the Peace and Democracy Institute, said that the clues to the journalist's murder are in the articles he wrote and published before he was killed. Anyone interested in the motives for Elmar's murder should read Monitor magazine's last article about the president's wife, Mehriban Aliyeva. The leader of the Musavat party, Isa Gambar, said that the murder of the journalist was an unsuccessful attempt to silence the press by the government. Amin Husseinov of the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety proposed holding protests in addition to a candlelit vigil outside Elmar's former apartment. The Azerbaijani government has claimed that the murder was committed by Teymuraz Aliyev and Tahir Kubanov, Azeri citizens who have since emigrated to Georgia. Apparently, the Georgian government has refused to extradite them, citing a lack of evidence.
An international conference on media freedom, ethics, and transparency opened in Baku today. The conference is being held as part of the Journalistic Ethics in Azerbaijan project, implemented by International Federation of Journalists an alliance of local NGOs, supported by the EU representation in Baku. The Deputy Secretary of the International Federation of Journalists, Oliver Moni Karl, observed that in Azerbaijan the press is divided into government and opposition media outlets. One of the objectives of the conference is to debate how to protect media from political control, in order that it can be reported objectively. The deputy head of the socio-political department of the presidential administration, Arastun Mekhdiev, noted that national policy encourages a pluralistic press. Among the various problems, he highlighted the weak material and technical foundations of the press, and the shortage of professional journalists. The representative of the OSCE Baku office, Jacqueline Carpenter, noted that her organization supported the Press Council in developing a professional ethics code for journalists. The OSCE believes that the problems in the press should be resolved through self-regulation, as opposed to criminal prosecution for defamation.
Martın 2-də Azərbaycan Strateji Araşdırmalar Mərkəzinin təşəbbüsü ilə Molla rejiminin dəyişilməsini istəyən Güney Azərbaycan türkləri İran müxalifətinə niyə dəstək vermir mövzusunda dəyirmi masa keçirilib. Mərkəzin rəhbəri Güneyli politoloq Aslan Xalidi son vaxtlar İranda baş verən inqilabi proseslərdən söhbət açıb. 2006-cı ilin may ayında İranda baş verən qarşıdurmalar zamanı aydın göründü ki, milli oyanış mərhələsi başa çatıb. Amma 2008-ci ildə İranda yaşıl İnqilab cəhdinə Güney Azərbaycan dəstək vermədi. Bunun səbəbi odur ki, İran müxalifətinin liderləri qeyri-fars millətlərinin milli hüquqlarını açıq şəkildə dilə gətirə bilmirlər, deyə Xalidi əlavə edib. Aslan Xalidi bildirib ki, İran müxalifəti Molla rejimini yox, hazırki hakimiyyətin dəyişməsini istəyir. Buna görə Güney Azərbaycan saray çevrilişlərində iştirak etməyəcək. Öz növbəsində Güney Azərbaycan Milli Oyanış Hərəkatının təmsilçisi Ağrı Qaradağlı politoloqun dedikləri ilə həmfikir olduğunu bildirərək, Güney Azərbaycanın İranın yaşıl inqilabına dəstək verməməyinin əsas səbəblərini izah edib. Onun sözlərinə görə, burada əsas səbəblərdən biri İranın vahid demokratik müxalifətinin olmamağıdır.
Biz oraya göndərəcəyik. Ondan sonra yenə də mən bunu səfirliklərə ifadə yazacağım. Daxili İşlər Nazirliyinin Bakı şəhər Baş Polis İdarəsinin
Hiçbir şey.
O da sizden başka
kopyasıdır.
Ha, 11 adam.
Ola deyin çünkü.
Onlar aprelin birinə.
Aprelsiz mən onu bilirəm. Ağsaqqal olur.
Bəli.
Orada bayramçı, əlində orada yaşayır. Əhalinin orada hüququ var. Orada sakini, vətəndaşı razı salan bir formada və yaxud da ki, sən kompensasiya verməlisən. İstər burada bura mənim balasını boşaltma. Aprel 1-də
Bana pul versin, gedim ev alım.
11 ailədə eyni şey.
11 mən...
Böyük vətən müharibəsi əlinə yaramaz. Sənə kim bu ixtiyar çağırırsan? Sən bunu təmin eləməlisən. Ya kompensasiyası.Liklərini bilirsiniz, əhali Sovet dövründə oraya köçürüləndə
Baku hosted an international conference on peacekeeping and peaceful coexistence after the armed conflicts in Cyprus and Northern Ireland. The conference was organized by Humanitarian Studies Center and the International Alert Group. The conference organizers invited figures involved in the conflict resolution process in Northern Ireland and Cyprus, including Jonathan Powell, Chief of Staff to former Prime Minister Tony Blair, Sean Farren, supporter of the Northern Irish independence, and later an active participant in political dialogue. Kultay Erk, the Secretary General of the Turkic Republican Party in Northern Cyprus, and Takis Hajidimitriou, former Secretary General of the Greek Cyprus Socialist Party. Head of the Humanitarian Studies Center, Avaz Hasanov, said that lessons can be learned from European conflict resolution, and that hearing about these experiences will contribute to the Karabakh peace process.